The smell of antiseptic mixed with leather polish hit Maya Chen as she pushed her cleaning cart past the mahogany doors. 23rd floor executive suite, same routine for 3 years. Except today, the arguing voices carried through the supposedly soundproof glass. These numbers are unacceptable. The voice belonged to someone she'd never heard before, sharp cutting through the usual corporate murmur. Maya adjusted her earbuds, pretending not to notice as she began wiping down the reception desk. The executive assistant, Patricia, had already fled to the break room. Smart woman. The door burst open. A white man in his 50s stormed out, face flushed, followed by several others in expensive suits. Maya kept her head down, focusing on the marble surface that already gleamed. And get someone competent to explain these Asian market projections. He barked at no one in particular. I don't care if you have to fly them in from Tokyo. See, that's when Maya made her mistake. She understood the Nikkei report visible on Patricia's abandoned screen. The Japanese text that everyone else had been struggling with all morning. Without thinking, she glanced at it, her expression shifting to comprehension. The man noticed. Of course he noticed. You, he pointed at her. You read Japanese. Maya's hand stilled on the cleaning cloth. 3 years of invisibility shattered by one careless moment. I asked you a question. He stepped closer. His cologne probably cost more than her weekly paycheck. Yes, sir. Her voice stayed neutral, professional. The same tone she used when executives occasionally acknowledged her existence. He grabbed the report from Patricia's desk, thrust it at her. What does this say? The translation software keeps giving us garbage. Maya set down her spray bottle, took the papers carefully. The text was dense with financial terminology, but nothing she hadn't seen before, in her previous life anyway. It's warning about regulatory changes in the semiconductor supply chain, she said quietly. The Ministry of Economy is implementing new restrictions that could affect export licenses starting next quarter. Silence. The man, she could see his name badge, now Nathan Cross, Chief Operating Officer, stared at her. You're telling me you understand international trade documentation. I clean offices, Mr. Cross. She handed back the papers. May I continue? But he was already pulling out his phone, scrolling through something. We have a video conference with Sagawa Industries in 20 minutes. Our translator just quit yesterday. He looked up. What's your hourly rate? $14, sir. I'll pay you $200 for the next hour. Can you handle live interpretation? Maya's throat tightened. $200 was more than she made in a day, but exposure meant questions, and questions meant explaining why someone with her skills was pushing a mop. I have other floors to clean. I'll clear it with building services. He was already dialing. Yes, this is Nathan Cross at Meridian Global. I need to borrow one of your cleaning staff. Maya, he looked at her badge. Chen, 1 hour. And that's how Maya found herself sitting in a conference room she'd cleaned hundreds of times, wearing her burgundy uniform, while executives in $1,000 suits hung on her every word. The Sagawa representatives appeared on screen. Maya's hands trembled slightly as she adjusted the microphone. 3 years since she'd done this. 3 years since her consulting firm had collapsed, taking her savings, her reputation, and her mother's medical treatment fund with it. Konnichiwa, Sagawa-san. She began her Japanese flowing naturally. The lead representative's eyes widened slightly. Her accent was perfect, better than their usual translators. For the next 40 minutes, Maya didn't just translate. She clarified cultural nuances, caught a critical error in the proposed terms that could have cost Meridian millions, and somehow helped both sides find middle ground on a deal that had been stalling for months. When the call ended, the room stayed quiet. Nathan Cross studied her with the kind of intensity that had probably intimidated hundreds of employees. You're not just a cleaner. It wasn't a question. I am now. Maya stood straightening her uniform. Will that be all, Mr. Cross? Sit down. His tone shifted, not quite ordering, but close. Patricia, get HR up here, and legal. I haven't done anything wrong. Maya's voice carried an edge now. No, but Meridian Global might have. He leaned back in his chair. We've had a translator with your capabilities cleaning our offices for how long? 3 years. Jesus Christ, he rubbed his temples. Do you speak other languages? Maya hesitated, but the truth had a way of surfacing eventually. Mandarin, Cantonese, Korean, Spanish, Portuguese, some Hindi. The HR director arrived looking confused, then legal. Then, to Maya's growing alarm, someone she recognized from the newspaper business sections. Harrison Sterling Meridian's CEO. This is her, Sterling asked Nathan. Maya Chen. She just saved us approximately $8 million in 40 minutes while wearing a janitor's uniform. Sterling sat across from her. Unlike Nathan's aggressive energy, he projected calculated calm. Ms. Chen, I'm going to ask you something and I need complete honesty. Why are you cleaning our offices? Maya met his gaze directly. No point in hiding now. Because Chen Consulting Group collapsed in the Yancey Securities scandal 3 years ago. I wasn't involved in the fraud, but I was CEO. No one in corporate America would touch me after that. But buildings always need cleaning. Sterling pulled out his phone, typed something. Chen Consulting. You were cleared of all charges. Clear doesn't mean innocent in this industry. You know that. I also know Michael Yancey. Sterling's expression darkened. He destroyed 16 companies with his Ponzi scheme. Yours was just collateral damage. Maya said nothing. Collateral damage that had cost her everything, including her mother's chance at experimental treatment. Hey, here's what's going to happen, Sterling said. You're going to finish your shift today as usual. Tomorrow, you're going to come back, but not with a cleaning cart. We're creating a position, International Relations Specialist. The salary is $160 to start. Mr. Sterling, this isn't charity, Ms. Chen. We've been hemorrhaging money on translation services and cultural consulting. You just demonstrated more capability than our entire outsourced team. He stood. Unless you prefer mopping floors, Maya thought about her apartment, the one bedroom in Queens she shared with 2 roommates, the generic medications she'd been substituting for her mother's prescribed ones, the dreams she'd carefully folded away with her business suits. I don't have appropriate clothing anymore. Charge it to the company. Sterling headed for the door, then paused. Oh, and Ms. Chen. The Nikkei report wasn't about semiconductors. It was about automotive batteries. You might want to review it again. After they left, Maya sat alone in the conference room. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, Manhattan stretched out like a circuit board. She'd once had an office with a view like this. Lost it. Now, apparently, she was being offered another chance. Her phone buzzed, a text from her supervisor in building services. Corporate says you're reassigned for the day? Everything okay? She typed back, yes, everything's changing. The next morning arrived gray and uncertain. Maya stood outside Meridian Global at 7:45 a.m., wearing her only remaining suit, black, carefully preserved 3 years out of style, but impeccably pressed. The security guard who usually ignored her did a double take. Morning, Mike, she said, using his name for the first time. Maya, you look different. She smiled slightly. Same person, different floor. The executive elevator felt strange, without her cleaning cart. Patricia, the executive assistant, nearly dropped her coffee when Maya approached the reception desk. Mr. Sterling asked me to report here. You're the... But you were. I was. Now I'm not. Maya kept her voice gentle. Patricia had always been kind, one of the few who said thank you. Nathan Cross appeared all business. Chen. Good. We have a situation. Tokyo's screaming about something in the contract. Their English is perfect, but they're being deliberately vague. I need you to figure out what they're really upset about. He handed her a tablet with an email chain. Maya scanned it, recognizing the pattern immediately. They're not upset about the contract. They're upset about the announcement. What announcement? The one where Meridian claimed credit for the joint innovation. In Japanese business culture, that's like spitting on a partnership. She pulled up Meridian's press release on her phone. Here, Meridian Global's breakthrough technology. No mention of Sagawa's contribution. Shit. Nathan grabbed his phone. We need damage control. Let me write the response, Maya said. I know how to frame this. Within an hour, she'd crafted an apology that acknowledged the slight without admitting legal fault, included subtle language that gave Sagawa more credit than they expected, and somehow strengthened the partnership instead of salvaging it. Word spread through the office like wildfire. The cleaning lady who became an executive. Some people whispered about quotas diversity hires publicity stunts. Others remembered small interactions. Times Maya had quietly fixed a jammed printer, while they panicked about deadlines or stayed late to ensure conference rooms were perfect for important meetings. Thomas from accounting stopped her in the hall. You speak Spanish, right? I remember you talking to the night cleaning crew. Yes. We've been trying to crack the South American market for 2 years. Could you look at our proposals? I think something's getting lost in translation. By noon, Maya had a stack of projects on her desk, which was actually just a commandeered conference table until IT could set up her proper workspace. She found errors in 6 different international contracts, identified why the Brazil expansion had failed. They'd accidentally insulted a major cultural holiday in their launch campaign and discovered that their Mumbai office had been politely ignoring headquarters' suggestions for months because the suggestions demonstrated complete ignorance of Indian business practices. Harrison Sterling appeared in the afternoon with someone Maya didn't recognize, a sharp-dressed woman with calculating eyes. Ms. Chen, this is Angela Morrison from our board of directors. Angela extended her hand. Her grip was testing, evaluating. I've been reviewing your work from this morning. In 6 hours, you've identified problems that our consultants missed for years. Fresh eyes help, Maya said carefully. Don't be modest. I looked into your background. Chen Consulting had contracts with Fortune 100 companies. You pioneered the cultural integration framework that half the industry still uses. Angela paused. Michael Yancey destroyed something valuable when he took you down with him. Maya's chest tightened. That's history. No, it's context. Angela pulled out a document. We're proposing a new position. Chief Cultural Intelligence Officer. It's not just translation, it's strategic positioning for global markets. The salary is $250 plus equity. That's generous. That's market rate for someone with your skills who hasn't been blackballed by a criminal's actions. Angela's tone carried an edge. We've let talent hide in plain sight for 3 years. That's our failure, not yours. Maya looked at the contract. Stock options. Healthcare that would cover her mother's specialists. A chance to rebuild not just her career, but her life. There will be pushback, she said. People who think I don't deserve this. Sterling spoke up. Let them push. Results talk louder than resentment. That evening, Maya didn't take the subway home. She walked, needing time to process. Her phone rang. Her mother. Mingtian Niyu Gongzuo Ma. Her mother asked in Mandarin if she had work tomorrow. Uyu Essen de Gongzuo, Maya replied. A new job. Her mother's silence stretched. Then, quietly, How Gongzuo? A good job, Maya thought about the past 3 years, the dignity she'd maintained while being invisible, the skills she'd preserved even when no one valued them. Yes, Ma, a good job. She could hear her mother crying softly. They'd been so careful with hope, rationing it like expensive medicine. 2 weeks into her new role, Maya faced her first real test. The Tokyo team had gone completely silent. No emails, no calls, missing scheduled meetings. Nathan was panicking. They're pulling out. I know it. The whole Asian expansion is dead. Maya studied the pattern. They're not pulling out. Someone senior died. They're in mourning protocol but can't tell us directly because it would be presumptuous to assume we'd care. How could you possibly know that? She pulled up a Japanese news site. Deputy Director Yamamoto passed away 3 days ago. He wasn't involved in our deal, but he was mentor to half their leadership team. Send flowers. Not Western flowers, white chrysanthemums. Include a formal condolence letter. I'll write it. Nathan stared at her. 3 years. You cleaned our offices for 3 years. Yes, we're idiots. You're human. People see what they expect to see. The flowers and letter earned Meridian something priceless, genuine gratitude from their Japanese partners. The deal not only survived, but expanded. Success brought visibility. A Reuters reporter called wanting to write about her story. Maya declined 5 times before Sterling intervened. This isn't just about you anymore. It's about every overlooked talent in every building in America. The article ran with the headline, "From Mop to Boardroom, the Hidden Cost of Corporate Blindness." It went viral. Maya's inbox exploded. Former colleagues who'd ghosted her after the scandal suddenly remembered their friendship. Job offers from competitors. Speaking requests. She ignored most of them, focusing on the work. But one email stopped her cold. Ms. Chen, I owe you an apology. When Chen Consulting fell, I was one of the clients who pulled out without giving you a chance to explain. I chose reputation over relationship. I was wrong. David Kim, Samsung America. She stared at the screen, remembering David. They'd worked together for 5 years. His abandonment had hurt the most. She typed back, apology accepted. The past is past. But it wasn't not entirely. Michael Yancey was serving 25 to life, but the damage he'd caused rippled outward still. Maya kept a photo from the trial in her desk, not of him, but of the other victims. 16 CEOs whose companies he'd destroyed. She was the only one who'd found any kind of recovery. Month 3 brought a crisis. The European expansion was failing spectacularly. Culture clashes, miscommunication, and growing resentment from the Berlin office. Fire them all, Nathan suggested in the emergency meeting. Start fresh. That'll cost us $50 million in severance and probably trigger a PR nightmare, Sterling said. Maya looked at the reports. Send me to Berlin. You speak German? No, but I speak human. Give me 2 weeks. Berlin in October was cold and gray. The Meridian office occupied 3 floors of a gleaming tower, but the atmosphere inside was colder than the weather. Klaus, the regional director, barely looked at her when she arrived. Another American consultant. How wonderful. Maya didn't take the bait. Instead, she spent 3 days just observing. Not meetings. She watched how people moved through the space where they ate lunch, who talked to whom. She noticed the Turkish cleaning crew who came in the evenings, chatting in their own language, invisible to the German and American staff. On day 4, she called a meeting, not in the conference room, in the break area with coffee and proper German pastries. We're not here to make you American, she said in carefully rehearsed German. It was broken, but the effort mattered. We're here to learn what works in Germany. Klaus's expression shifted slightly. She continued in English. I spent 3 years being invisible in Meridian's New York office. I know what it's like to have capabilities that no one bothers to see. So let's start over. Tell me what we're doing wrong. The dam broke. 2 hours of complaints, frustrations, and surprisingly solutions. The German team had been trying to tell New York for months that their approach wouldn't work in European markets. No one had listened. Maya took notes, asked questions, and most importantly, validated their expertise. By the end of the week, she'd restructured the entire European operation to work with German efficiency instead of against it. Klaus walked her to the airport. You were a janitor. I was, and before that, a CEO. And now, someone trying to build bridges. He smiled. The first real smile she'd seen from him. Build them well, Maya Chen. The European division turned profitable within 6 months. Back in New York, Maya's transformation had become corporate legend. Harvard Business Review wanted to do a case study. She agreed, but with conditions. They had to include the 3 years of cleaning, not just the comeback. Why? The writer asked. It's painful history. Because someone else is pushing a mop right now, thinking their life is over. They need to know it's not. The article sparked a movement. Companies started looking closer at their invisible employees. 3 major corporations discovered they had former engineers working in their mailrooms, ex-executives in their cafeterias, talented people who'd been written off for various reasons. Sterling called her into his office on a Thursday afternoon. Outside Manhattan hummed with its usual chaos. "The board wants to promote you to President of International Operations." Maya set down her tea carefully. "That's significant. It's overdue. You've generated more value in 8 months than most executives do in a decade." He paused. "But there's something else. Michael Yancey wants to see you." The name hit like cold water. "No. He's offering to testify that you tried to stop him, that you discovered the fraud, and he destroyed you for it. It could clear your reputation completely." Maya stood, walked to the window. 23 floors below, people rushed through their lives, each carrying invisible histories. "My reputation doesn't need his validation anymore." "You're sure?" She turned back. "Mr. Sterling, I learned something pushing that cleaning cart. Dignity isn't given or taken. It's held. I held mine through 3 years of invisibility. I don't need Michael Yancey to restore what was never truly lost." Sterling smiled. "Then let's talk about your new office. Corner Suite, 24th floor. Actually," Maya said, "I'd prefer to stay on 23, close to the people doing the work." That night, Maya treated her mother to dinner at a restaurant they'd once loved but hadn't visited in 3 years. The owner recognized them, his eyes widening. Maya, we heard the news." "Hello, Mr. Zhang. 2 for dinner." He seated them at their old table. Her mother ordered in Mandarin, comfortable here among familiar sounds and smells. "Ni kuai le ma?" her mother asked. "Are you happy?" Maya considered. Happy felt too simple for what she was. Vindicated, restored. Know something else. "Wo shi wan jing de," she answered. "I am whole." Her mother reached across the table, squeezed her hand. They didn't need more words. A year later, Maya stood before Meridian's annual shareholder meeting. The company's international revenue had increased 340%. The stock price had doubled, but she didn't lead with those numbers. 3 years ago, I cleaned these offices," she began. "Not because I lacked capability, but because the business world had decided I was disposable. How many others have we decided are disposable? How much talent walks past us every day, invisible, because we don't expect to see it?" She clicked to her first slide, a photo of her cleaning cart. "This was my desk for 3 years. From here, I watched Meridian struggle with international markets, cultural misunderstandings, and lost opportunities. I could have helped then, but no one knew to ask." The room was silent. "We've created a new initiative, the Visible Talent Program. We're reviewing every employee, not just executives. We're looking for hidden capabilities, overlooked expertise, dismissed potential. Because Meridian's next breakthrough might be pushing a mail cart right now." Applause started slowly, then built. But Maya wasn't finished. "I want to acknowledge someone. Patricia Williams, executive assistant. For 3 years she said thank you every time I emptied her trash. She saw me when I was invisible. Patricia, would you stand?" Patricia rose, tears streaming. The applause doubled. "Leadership isn't just about vision and strategy," Maya continued. "It's about seeing people, all people, and understanding that talent doesn't always arrive in expected packages." After the meeting, Nathan Cross approached. He'd become one of her strongest supporters, but their relationship remained complicated. "You know I walked past you hundreds of times." "I know. Do you hate me for it?" Maya considered. "No, but I remember it. And that memory keeps me looking for others who might be invisible." "I've started learning Mandarin," he said suddenly, "and Spanish. And I talk to the night cleaning crew now. They're interesting people. They always were." He nodded, message received. That evening, Maya's office phone rang. The caller ID showed blocked. "Maya Chen." Ms. Chen, this is Amanda Richardson from the White House Economic Council. We're forming a task force on workforce development and hidden talent. The president would like you to chair it. Maya looked at her wall where she'd hung a photo, her cleaning crew from building services. They'd taken it at her goodbye party, everyone smiling, proud of her success. I'm interested, she said, but I have conditions, such as the task force includes people currently working in service positions, not former, current. Their voices matter. A pause. That's unconventional. So was promoting a janitor to C-suite. How did that work out? Point taken. Send us your proposal. After the call, Maya walked through Meridian's offices. It was late. The night cleaning crew had arrived. She recognized most of them stopped to chat with Maria, who was studying for her accounting degree online. How are classes? Hard, Maria admitted. But I'm managing. If you need help, ask. That's not charity, it's investment. Maria smiled. You really made it out, Ms. Chen. No, Maya corrected. I made it through. There's a difference. She stayed another hour helping Maria with a particularly tricky problem set. Because dignity wasn't just about rising, it was about remembering where you'd been and making sure others could follow. 2 years had passed since the cleaning cart became a corner office. Maya stood in the renovated conference room, the same one where she'd first interpreted for Sagawa Industries. Now it bore a small plaque, the Chen Room, where potential meets opportunity. The Visible Talent Program had identified 47 hidden gems within Meridian. Former teachers working in filing, engineers in food service, a physicist in building maintenance who'd fled her home country with nothing but hope. Today's meeting was special. The board was reviewing the program's expansion to all Meridian subsidiaries worldwide. Angela Morrison called the session to order. Maya, the floor is yours. Maya didn't use slides this time. Instead, she invited 3 people to join her. Marcus, from mailroom former logistics manager who'd been laid off at 55. Jennifer from cafeteria services MBA from Wharton couldn't find work after maternity discrimination, and David from overnight security, fluent in 7 languages, refugee from South Sudan. Tell them your stories, Maya said simply. For the next hour, the board heard truth. Raw, uncomfortable, inspiring truth about talent hiding in plain sight, about potential dismissed by circumstance, about the cost of corporate blindness. When they finished, Harrison Sterling spoke first. Full expansion approved. Global implementation. Budget it properly, Maya. As the board members filed out, Angela lingered. You know what you've really done here. Created a program I know. You've changed how we see. That's harder than changing what we do. That afternoon, a package arrived at Maya's office. No return address. Inside, a photo from the Yancey trial she'd never seen. Herself in the defendant's chair, composed, despite losing everything. A note was attached. Ms. Chen, I was the court reporter during your testimony. You held your head high when everyone else would have broken. I've kept this photo for 3 years, hoping someday I could return it to you when the world recognized what I saw that day. Unbreakable dignity. Congratulations on everything you've rebuilt. Janet Morrison, court reporter, retired. Maya placed the photo next to the one of her cleaning crew. 2 bookends of a journey that shouldn't have happened, but did. Her computer chimed. Email from the White House task force. They'd accepted her conditions. The announcement would go public tomorrow. The first federal workforce development initiative to be chaired by someone who'd been recently unemployed, underemployed, and overlooked. As evening approached, Maya prepared to leave. The night cleaning crew would arrive soon. She made a point of being there when they did every Friday, not to supervise or interfere, but to remember. Carlos, the crew supervisor, always asked the same question. Any advice, Ms. Chen? Usually she offered something practical. Tonight felt different. The distance between a mop and a boardroom is shorter than you think, she said, but you have to be ready to walk it when the door opens. How do you know when it opens? You don't, so you stay ready. She left them to their work, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. 23 flights down each step, a reminder of how far up she'd climbed. In the lobby, Mike the security guard called out, "Have a good weekend, Ms. Chen." "You too, Mike. How's your daughter's college search going?" "She got into Columbia, engineering." "That's wonderful. If she needs any internship connections, let me know." His face lit up. "You'd do that? Mike, you were kind to me when I was invisible. That matters." Outside, Manhattan's autumn air carried promise and exhaust in equal measure. Maya's driver waited with the company car, a perk she'd initially resisted, but Sterling had insisted on. "Home, Ms. Chen. One stop first." She directed him to a building in Queens, not her old apartment. That life was gone. This was a community center where she now taught free business English to recent immigrants every Saturday morning. The director, Mrs. Park, was locking up. "Maya, you're early for tomorrow. Just dropping off some materials. I have news. Meridian's funding the expansion. You can hire 3 more teachers." Mrs. Park hugged her tears immediate. "The waiting list is 200 people. "Then we'd better get to work." Back in the car, Maya's phone rang. Her mother. "Nisha Fanle ma, have you eaten?" The eternal mother question, regardless of success or failure. "Wo hui chai," Maya promised she would. "Ni tai mang." Her mother worried she was too busy. "Zega shi zhongyao de gongzuo." Maya explained it was important work. Her mother was quiet. Then "Ni fukon hui jiao ao." Your father would be proud. Maya's throat tightened. Her father had died when she was 15, working 2 jobs to pay for her education. He'd believed in American dreams when they seemed impossible. "Jexie, mama." The car pulled up to her mother's assisted living facility, not the state-run one from 3 years ago, but a place with gardens and dignity. 5 minutes, she told the driver. Her mother was in the common room teaching other residents Tai Chi. At 73, she moved with more grace than people half her age. "Everyone, this is my daughter," her mother announced in English proud. "She runs international business." Maya bowed slightly to the group, remembering her manners. One resident, Mr. Thompson, wheeled forward. "Your mother says you used to clean offices." "I did. I was a lawyer once, before the Alzheimer's. Now I can't remember my cases, but I remember being ignored when I stopped being useful." Maya knelt beside his chair. "You're not invisible here." "No," he agreed. "Your mother makes sure of that." Walking back to the car, Maya's mother took her arm. "You give people their dignity back. I remind them they never lost it." Her mother squeezed her arm. Same thing, different words. The next morning brought the public announcement. White House appoints former janitor to chair National Workforce Initiative. The headlines wrote themselves. Maya's phone exploded with notifications. She turned it off, focusing on her Saturday class at the community center. "Today we practice job interviews," she told her students. "But first, let me tell you about my worst interview ever." She described walking into Meridian Global 4 years ago, desperate for any job taking the cleaning position because rent was due. "I thought I had fallen," she said. "But sometimes falling is just landing somewhere unexpected." One student raised her hand. "Ms. Chen, you are big success now. Why you come teach us?" Maya smiled. "Because someone has to see you. Really see you. That's how change starts." After class, she found Nathan Cross waiting in the parking lot. "Stalking is illegal," she said mildly. "Sterling wanted me to give you this personally." He handed her an envelope. Inside, a single key. "What's this?" "The executive bathroom. Sterling had them install a plaque with your name." Maya laughed, genuinely amused. 3 years cleaning bathrooms, and now I have my own. He thought you'd appreciate the irony." "I do." She pocketed the key. "Nathan, can I ask you something?" "Anything. If I hadn't spoken Japanese that day, would you have ever noticed me?" He was quiet for a long moment. "No. And that haunts me." "Good. Let it. Use that haunting to see others." "I'm trying. I really am." "I know. That's why I don't hate you. But you don't forgive me either." Forgiveness implies it was personal. It wasn't. It was systemic. That's what we're fixing. They stood in comfortable silence watching people arrive for ESL classes. The White House thing is huge, Nathan said finally. It's necessary. You know they'll dig into everything. The Yancey scandal, the 3 years cleaning all of it. Let them dig. I have nothing to hide. You're not afraid, Maya considered. I was afraid when I couldn't pay for my mother's medicine. I was afraid when I thought I'd never use my education again. I was afraid of being invisible forever. This is just noise. Nathan studied her. You've really thought this through. I've had 3 years to think. That's the thing about repetitive work. Your hands are busy, but your mind is free. I planned my comeback while mopping floors. And if it hadn't worked, then I'd have been the best educated janitor in Manhattan. There's dignity in that, too. A text arrived from Sterling. 60 Minutes wants an interview. Your call. Maya typed back, only if they interview the whole cleaning crew, too. Sterling's response was immediate. Of course you'd say that. I'll set it up. Monday arrived with Manhattan's usual chaos. Maya's new routine included a 6 a.m. call with the Singapore office 7 a.m. with London 8 a.m. senior staff meeting. But first, she stopped at the building's loading dock. The morning delivery crew was just arriving. She knew them all by name now, had learned their stories during her cleaning years. Tommy, how's your son's baseball team? Made playoffs, Ms. Chen. He's pitching Thursday. Send me the details. I'll try to come if I can. Tommy's eyes widened. You'd do that. My father never missed my school events, even working 2 jobs. It matters. Inside the Monday morning senior staff meeting had its usual tension. Quarterly reports were due. The board wanted answers about emerging markets. Beijing is stalling, Nathan reported. They're questioning our commitment to long-term partnerships. Maya pulled up her tablet. They're not questioning commitment. They're questioning comprehension. Our proposal ignored the Autumn Festival. We suggested major transitions during their most important cultural celebration. How did we miss that? Because we didn't ask anyone who would know. She looked around the table. This is why the Visible Talent Program matters. Roberto in shipping is from Guangzhou. He could have told us this. Roberto in shipping. The CFO looked skeptical. He has a degree in international business from Fudan University. He's in shipping because that's the job he could get with a work visa. Silence. This is what I mean, Maya continued. We have expertise walking through our halls every day and we don't even know it. After the meeting, she found Patricia organizing files. Patricia, can I ask you something? Of course, Ms. Chen. Why were you kind to me when I was cleaning? Most people weren't cruel, just absent. Patricia set down her papers. My mother cleaned houses, sent 4 kids to college with that work. I saw her in you. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for not forgetting us when you rose. That afternoon brought a crisis. The Berlin office was in revolt again. Klaus had quit taking 3 key people with him. I thought you fixed Berlin, Sterling said over video call. I fixed the symptoms. The disease was deeper. Maya was already packing. I need to go back. You can't keep flying to fix everything personally. No, but I can show them we're serious about change. Presence matters. On the plane, she reviewed Klaus's resignation letter. Buried in corporate speak was real pain. Promises made and broken expertise, dismissed culture, treated as commodity. She typed her own message to the Berlin team. I'm coming to listen, really listen. No presentations, no PowerPoints, just truth. The plane descended into Berlin at dawn. The city looked gray and tired, or maybe that was her projection. The office was half empty when she arrived. Those who remained looked defensive, exhausted. Where would you like to meet? She asked the most senior remaining manager, Petra. Conference room is prepared. No, where would you like to meet? Where do you feel comfortable? Petra blinked. There's a beer garden around the corner. We go there after work sometimes. Then let's go there. 6 hours later, over beer and pretzels, Maya finally understood. It wasn't about culture clash or communication. Meridian had acquired a smaller German firm 2 years ago and slowly strangled everything that made it successful. We had profit, Petra explained, slightly drunk and fully honest. We had innovation. We had loyalty. Then Meridian came and said we were doing it wrong. You weren't doing it wrong. We were looking at it wrong. Klaus tried to explain, and we didn't listen. I didn't listen well enough. Maya pulled out her phone, called Sterling on speaker. Harrison, I'm here with the Berlin team. I'm recommending we spin the German operation back to semi-autonomous status. Local leadership, local decisions, local accountability. That's a massive structural change. Yes, and it's necessary. The board will resist. Then I'll convince them. Or I'll resign, and they can find someone else to fix this. Silence. The German team stared at her. You'd resign over us? Petra asked. I'd resign over principle. You happen to be the principal at the moment. Sterling sighed through the phone. Write the proposal. I'll back it. The Berlin team erupted in cautious celebration. Maya stayed until midnight, helping draft the restructuring plan that would return their autonomy. Flying back, she thought about power, how it flowed where it pooled, who got to direct it. 3 years ago, she'd had none. Now she had enough to reshape corporate structures. But the real power wasn't in the title or the office. It was in the clarity that came from seeing both sides. Her phone buzzed. A message from Carlos, the night crew supervisor. My daughter got into college, first in our family. She said you inspired her. If the cleaning lady could become executive, she could become doctor. Maya smiled, typing back. Tell her the cleaning lady was always an executive. It just took a while for everyone else to notice. Back in New York, she found her office filled with flowers. The card read, From the Visible Talent Program graduates. Thank you for seeing us. 47 people who'd been invisible, now rising. Not charity cases or diversity statistics, but talent finally recognized. Her computer showed 1,847 unread emails. She ignored them, walking to the window. 23 floors below evening shift change was happening. People leaving. People arriving, each with stories no one bothered to learn. A knock at her door. Sterling entered without waiting for permission. A CEO's prerogative. The board approved Berlin, reluctantly. They'll thank us when it becomes profitable again. Maybe. He sat in her visitor's chair, a reversal of their usual dynamic. Maya, can I tell you something? Of course. When Nathan first brought you to that meeting, I thought it would be a nice story. Janitor makes good heartwarming PR. Maybe she lasts 6 months. And now I realize you might be the most important hire I've ever made. Not because of your languages or cultural knowledge, but because you see what we've trained ourselves to ignore. Everyone can learn to see. Can they? I've been CEO for 15 years. I've walked past thousands of employees. How many Mayas have I missed? That's the wrong question. What's the right one? How many will you miss tomorrow? He nodded slowly. The 60 Minutes piece airs next week. They want to film you with the cleaning crew. Good. America needs to see that talent doesn't always wear Armani. You wear Armani now. No, I wear clothes. The person inside them is the same one who pushed the cart. Sterling stood to leave, paused at the door. My father was a mechanic. Did I ever tell you that? No. He fixed cars for 40 years, had ideas for improvements that Detroit eventually invented decades later. No one listened to a grease monkey. So you understand, I forgot. You reminded me. Thank you for that. Alone again, Maya opened her desk drawer. Inside, carefully folded, was her old cleaning uniform. She kept it as reminder and warning. How quickly fortune could change, how easily visibility could fade. Her phone rang. The White House. Ms. Chen, the president, would like to meet before the task force launch. Can you come to Washington tomorrow? Yes. Excellent. Also, she mentioned she'd like to hear your thoughts on the invisible workforce in federal buildings. Maya smiled. I have extensive thoughts on that. After the call, she walked through Meridian's quiet halls. The night crew had arrived. She found Maria in the break room studying. "Accounting exam next week," Maria explained. "You'll pass." "How do you know?" "Because you're here at 9 p.m. studying instead of home. That's the difference between dreamers and doers." Maria looked at her textbook. "Ms. Chen, were you angry during those 3 years?" "Every day. But you didn't show it. Anger is fuel. You can burn it for heat or forge it into tools. I chose tools. I'm angry sometimes when they look through me." "Good. Use it. Let it drive you forward, not down." Maria nodded, returning to her studies. Maya continued her rounds, checking on her former colleagues. Not charity, not pity, just presence. Near midnight, she finally headed home. In the elevator, she met someone new, a young man with a mop bucket, maybe 25, wearing the same burgundy uniform she once wore. "Long night?" she asked. He startled, not expecting conversation. "Yes, ma'am. I'm Maya. I used to have your job." His eyes widened. You're the one who became, the one who was always executive material, just temporarily mopping floors." "I have a degree," he said quietly. "Computer science, but no experience, no connections." "What's your name?" "James." "James, tomorrow at 2 p.m. there's a Visible Talent Program intake meeting, room 2301. Be there." "But I have to work." "I'll clear it with your supervisor. Your future matters more than one shift." The elevator opened at the lobby. James walked out, then turned back. "Why help me?" "Because someone should have helped me sooner. I'm fixing the timeline for you." Outside Manhattan never slept. Lights in windows, each representing someone's ambition, desperation, hope. Maya's driver waited patiently. "Home, Ms. Chen." "Yes, but take the long way. I want to see the city." They drove through Queens, past the building where she'd lived during the dark years, past the community center where she now taught, past the hospital where her mother had been treated. Each location, a chapter in a story still being written. Her phone buzzed, a text from her mother. "Don't forget to eat." Maya smiled, texting back, "Just did." It was a lie, but a loving one. Some things didn't change regardless of title or circumstance. Mothers worried, daughters reassured, life continued. At home, a real apartment, now 2 bedrooms, windows that actually opened, she found a package waiting. No return address, but she recognized the handwriting. Inside, a photo from Chen Consulting's last holiday party. Her entire team smiling, unaware that Yancey's fraud would destroy them all within months. A note was attached. "Maya, we all landed somewhere. Not where we planned, but we survived. Thank you for showing us it was possible to rise again. Your old team." She placed the photo on her mantle next to her father's picture and her cleaning crew photo. Past, present, future, all connected by thread of resilience. Her laptop showed tomorrow's schedule: 6 a.m. Singapore, 7 a.m. London, 8 a.m. senior staff, 10 a.m. with the Times reporter, 2 p.m. Washington, 6 p.m. back for Maria's practice presentation. But first, she had one more task. She opened a blank document and began typing. "Memo to all Meridian Global employees. 3 years ago, I cleaned your offices. I was invisible to most of you, not through malice, but through assumption. We see what we expect to see, value what we're trained to value. Tomorrow, look around. Really look. The security guard who greets you might speak 4 languages. The food service worker might have an engineering degree. The mail clerk might understand your business better than you do. Talent doesn't announce itself. It simply exists, waiting to be recognized. The Visible Talent Program isn't about charity or quotas. It's about competitive advantage. It's about recognizing that brilliance doesn't always arrive in expected packages. I challenge each of you. Learn one unexpected thing about a colleague tomorrow. Discover one hidden talent. See one invisible person. Because the next time you walk past someone pushing a cart, remember, you might be walking past your future CEO. Maya Chen, Chief Cultural Intelligence Officer, former Custodial Services. She hit send, knowing it would land in 10,000 inboxes by morning. The city hummed outside her window. Somewhere, someone was mopping a floor dreaming of more. Somewhere, talent was being overlooked. Somewhere, someone like her 3 years ago self was wondering if they'd ever be seen. She couldn't fix it all. But she could build doors where there had been walls. She could create paths where there had been dead ends. She could make visible what had been invisible. Her phone showed one last message from James, the young man with a computer science degree. "Thank you for seeing me." Maya typed back, "Thank you for being worth seeing." Then she closed her laptop, turned off the lights, and prepared for tomorrow. Another day of building bridges between the visible and invisible, the powerful and overlooked, the corner offices and cleaning carts. Because that's what you did when you'd been on both sides. You held the door open for others to walk through. A message to those who feel invisible. If you're reading this from a place of struggle, know this. Your current position doesn't define your worth. Every mogul started somewhere. Every CEO had a first day. Every success story had chapters of failure. You might be cleaning offices, but you're building resilience. You might be overlooked, but you're not overcome. You might be invisible, but you're not insignificant. Keep your skills sharp, keep your dignity intact, keep your hope alive. Because someday, someone will see you. Really see you. And when that door opens, be ready to walk through it with your head high and your talent blazing. The distance between a mop and a boardroom is shorter than you think. Stay ready.